Do you have a dream you're longing to achieve? It took time and effort, but I finally achieved my dream life, living in an enchanted cottage surrounded by a magical forest, doing creative work that I love, that I'm passionate about. I have the freedom to live my life as I choose. I wake up naturally every day to the sounds of birdsong right outside my bedroom window every morning, or outside my tent when I go on camping trips. I enjoy relaxing mornings with a cup of coffee and my journal, taking time for deep self-connection so I can consciously create my life by consciously creating my day. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur. The last time I had a permanent full-time job was in January of 2009, over 15 years ago. I'm sharing this information about myself and my life because I want other people to find joy in life by following their bliss as well. The journey is different for each of us because we start at different places in this game of life. We each start with different advantages and what might appear to be disadvantages, but some of the strategies are fundamental. I use magical practices because the definition of magic is changing consciousness at will, and by changing consciousness, we change our lives. It's inevitable. Einstein said you can't solve a problem from the level of consciousness that created it. And that seems self-evident to me. But that also means that the solution to every problem is to change the level of consciousness. Through magical practices, you can do that at will. And thus, you can literally solve every problem in your life. The important thing is to understand that you are working with energy and consciousness. It's not so much about changing the external reality, so much as it is about changing your inner reality, your consciousness. And then the outer reality will begin to shift and reflect back to you your inner state. So conscious reality creation, or creating your reality, is about how you show up to what is. Change yourself and you change your reality. But it's also important to recognize that we live in a time-bound material plane of existence, so it takes time for the external reality to shift and match your inner reality. Yet it will if you are persistent, while at the same time you release your attachment to the outcome and trust. Yes, we must surrender our attachment to the outcome, and we must trust that everything will unfold given time and persistence. Let go of doubts and allow yourself to trust that everything is unfolding to help your reality shift. If it appears that things are getting worse, that's just the Rubik's Cube shifting. Have you ever noticed that in order to get all sides of the cube the same color, you have to mess it up first? But if you know how to solve the puzzle, then you trust it will all fall into place perfectly. You let go of doubt and you trust. In that way, magic can unfold in your life. It's about creating integration within the self. That means heart and mind coherence, getting your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all in alignment to work like the power of a laser beam. We all experience fear and anxiety and stress from time to time, but the true test is how quickly you're able to realign with your dreams, goals, and ideals. This world often seems designed to keep us distracted and off balance. As I go through my day, I know that I have the power to choose where I place my attention, and that is magic. That is changing consciousness at will. In each moment, I have the power to choose where I place my attention, and where I place my attention is fundamental to creating my reality. Where you place your attention is what creates your reality, and that is your magic power, period. I can almost hear all the yeah buts. Yeah, but what about ... In this moment, listen to your own yeah buts. What about ... What about the government? What about the upcoming elections? What if so-and-so gets elected? We're screwed. What about the economy? What about the inflation? What about the unemployment rate? What about the heat waves and the forest fires? Yeah, but I'm fill in the blank. All I can say to those yeah buts is this. When you argue for your limitations or the world's limitations, guess what? You get to keep them. And you give up your power to change. You give up your power to change your reality. You give your power away to the externals. That's called an outer locus of control. In other words, you've given up your power to everything external to you, people, situations, environment. You've given your power away to that. So you've given your power away to create your reality. What if I told you you could take back your power? You could have an internal locus of control. It's up to you. So you can argue all you want if that's the limited, powerless reality that you want to create, because you are that powerful. You can have either way, whichever you want. You can give your power away to the externals and have an external locus of control, or you can take your power back and have an internal locus of control and, choose where you place your attention and create your reality. It's really up to you. You are that powerful. I'll give you an example of someone who lived under very difficult conditions and yet was extremely successful by any standard. In the 1600s, Isaac Newton was virtually abandoned by his mother. His father had died, and she remarried, but the new husband didn't want him around. He grew up in the middle of a civil war. The church hung people and cut out their tongues and burned them alive at the stake if they said anything the church considered blasphemous. The plague was still a devastating force in his lifetime. There was plenty of poverty and hardship. The Great Fire of London occurred in his lifetime. Imagine yourself living through all those challenges without the convenience of electricity or computers or phones or the internet or indoor plumbing and flush toilets. The sewage from the outhouses was dumped into the rivers and stunk like the open sewer it was. Transportation across land happened on foot or horse-drawn carriage. And yet, in spite of all of this, Isaac Newton, still to this day, had such a profound impact. He was such a profound force that he changed our worldview. He changed our paradigm. And please don't say, well, he was a genius, because the truth is we all have genius in us. Every single one of us. Every single one of us has genius inside us. The question is, are you going to give away your power to the externals, which, like I pointed out with Isaac Newton, really, the challenges we face today are nothing like the challenges they faced 400 years ago. We have it easy compared to him. So easy. So take your personal genius and do something with it if you choose, or give your power away. Again, the choice is really up to you. That's the whole point. So when you feel like the challenges are too much, just remember that it could always be worse, and yet a nobody can still change the world, because Isaac Newton, like I said, his father died, his mom abandoned him. He was a nobody. He was bullied at school. He was a nobody. And yet, in spite of all the challenges he faced, he really did change the world. And you too are that powerful. If you choose to be, or you can choose your limitations. It's really up to you. Now, I'm not going to say that it's easy, because that was never my experience. Every step of the way brought its own unique challenges. But the change occurred faster and more easily when I welcomed and embraced the challenges. I didn't resist them. I didn't fight them. I embraced them. It's like leveling up in a game rather than resisting the game. So what do you want to do? Do you want to play this game of life, this magical game of life? Well, come on then, take on the challenges. If you want to open a door and it requires unlocking the door, turning the knob, and pulling the door toward you, then I can assure you, if you are pushing all your weight against that door, it's never going to open. Resistance works against the flow of energy and simply creates blocks and obstacles, leaving you stuck with your core limiting beliefs. If you want magic in your life, let go of your doubts. Stop arguing for your limitations. Eliminate the distractions and non-essentials and focus instead on what you want to create in your life. Put your attention on what you want to create. This is changing consciousness at will, and this is magic. I'm personally attracted to a magical life, not only to change my consciousness at will and create my reality, but also because I find it imbues life with spirit and deep meaning. I feel connected, especially to the natural world around me. Nature heals me. I feel more grounded and peaceful when I'm connected to nature. My mind quiets down. The fear, stress, and anxiety that are endemic to our modern world just wash away, and I am able to be more present and focus my attention. When I'm connected to nature, the distractions vanish, and I become centered and present. In this way, I'm able to take back my attention and more easily create my reality in a conscious way. I was inspired to make this video because recently I was camping in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. I was listening to a video I downloaded, and the person said, "The reason you don't have what you want, ... And I was struck by that because I thought, but wait a minute, I do have what I want. It was 9 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. I was sitting beside a narrow river, enjoying the sound of the birds and the rushing water, breathing the fresh air, that fresh piney air in the forest. I was writing my journal, and suddenly it struck me how far I had traveled from the experience of driving in rush hour traffic to a job I hated, and then counting down the hours until I could finally leave. I realized in that moment that I had created a life I didn't want to run away from. I felt such intense gratitude in that moment, but I also felt proud of myself because I also remembered the intense anxiety I felt when I left the security of that 9-to-5 job. But I had reached the point where I said, I have to take a leap of faith if I want things to change. I'm willing to accept the insecurity as my new challenge. But along with that challenge came extraordinary experiences, growth, change, novelty, creativity, excitement, adventure, and ultimately, freedom and empowerment. I'm not the same person I once was so many years ago. I saw a picture of myself back then. My face was thin, drawn, and ashen. The misery and depression were etched into my expression. I looked like a Holocaust victim, just released from a concentration camp. I was in bad shape, but I mustered the courage to take the leap and see if I could fly. I'm sure there will be many more challenges to face as I continue to level up in this game of life, but I welcome challenges now. I welcome the new experiences, new labyrinths to navigate as I move toward the cave with the buried treasure. I have no doubts that I will reach the treasure and further grow and empower myself. What a magical, enchanted adventure this game of life is. So please let me know in the comments what you resonated with in this video and where you are in your adventure. If you're surrounded by trolls and goblins and dangerous, rickety bridges over a chasm, don't worry. Just embrace it all and see what this level of the game has to teach you. One of the most important and empowering questions you can ask yourself is this: what is this experience trying to teach me? So tell me now in the comments, do you have a dream you're longing to achieve? Let me know what it is, and also what you're struggling with and what has actually worked for you. Have you used magical practices to help you achieve your goals? I very much look forward to hearing all about it.